Hey guys, just a very quick one before episode 101 begins. 100 episodes. Never thought we'd get here. And that's not a slight on the whole podcast, that's just, never thought the venture would take us this far, and here we are. It's amazing. On to 100 more, 1,000 more, however long this goes for. Just a quick one. Unfortunately, with the new setup, we did have some audio issues to begin with. This will last for about the first 20 minutes or so of the episode, but have no fear, it was all fixed from then onwards. Just the first 20 minutes sound like they're from about 15 years ago, like a mic quality. It's a bit tinny, if you will. But being that this is episode 101, I just wanted to give another big thank you to everyone who has listened, shared, downloaded, streamed, what have you. Anything of the Dreadcast content. It's very much appreciated and we love you all. Now, obviously, when I say we, I sadly do not mean myself and Aidan. He has departed the show and moved on. And we all wish him well in whatever he's doing in his life. I know he's listening. But have no fear. I haven't come back alone. As you will see in this episode. Also, just to say, going onwards, we will have all the usual horror-tastic podcast discussions, from classics to hidden gems to new releases in the cinema world, to monthly installments from the Two Films Under series, and bringing back some more Treehouse of Horror specials. So plenty of stuff to come, plenty of range. You know, maybe some new things in the works. We'll see how it goes. So with that, head on over to all the social medias to find out all the news and upcoming episodes, such as on Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter. It's Twitter. And just all under the Dreadcast banner. Oh, and TikTok. You can find us on TikTok as well. You find all the news there. So yeah, that's about it. So now, episode 101. And technically part 1 of myself and Nick's top horrors of 2024. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Ciao.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Do you ever fantasize about
Damn enchiladas!
That's much too vulgar a display of power, Karen.
Let me ask you one question. Are you having fun?
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Because I promise you, you and I are gonna have some fun.
Oh, no.
It is time to keep your appointment with the Wicker Man.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Shut up, you bitch hog.
Game over.
Welcome back to Take 17.
Take 17 of episode 101 of the Dreadcast. My name is Tom. You are not Aidan, but you are also bald and have a big beard.
Yep, I'm Aiden 2.0, or V1.
V1 2.0. Welcome, Nick. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you,
Welcome,
Tom.
Nick, to the show. Dear friend of mine, Nicholas Pickles.
Never called me that before.
Definitely not in take 1 of this show.
See, I'll go for Nicholas Pickles, because I could be like Tommy and Chucky's friend, you know. Rugrats.
Yeah, no, I got it.
I wasn't sure if you got it.
I love Rugrats. Rugrats was great.
Or that might be where your love for Reptile came from.
Reptile.
Godzilla.
Yeah, that's it could be. But yes, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're taking the reins because I don't really know many other people that love horror that much. So you were next on the list.
Oh, good. Exhaustive list.
No, I mean we discuss horror a lot in our own time, and I'm glad that with today's episode, us doing our picks of 2024, we've probably talked about half of these films throughout the year, but not thoroughly discussed them. So
yeah, because when I start discussing films with you, if you've not seen it, you're like, no, you're going to spoil it for me.
Well, yeah, I don't want to be spoiled. Yeah, which is fine with today because like if you've seen a film that I haven't, I don't mind you talking about it as long as you don't tell me what happened. The spoilerific review, you know, it's fine, and vice versa.
Yeah. Although I don't mind if you spoil it for me, because if I want to watch it, I'll still watch it.
Yeah, okay. Well, similar to what we did last year, me and Aiden, our top 10 list of 2023. Keep forgetting we're now...
We're in 5, so we're doing the 4 list. So last year, the 3 list.
so confusing how they do the years in the world. It's so confusing. He had a film. It was like a folklore horror film with Finchy. Bloody good rep.
Oh, Finchy. Ralph Innocent.
Miserable or something. Something like that. But I hadn't seen it, so I was discussing it with spoiler free. So yeah, welcome back everyone. My name's Tom. This is Nick. Nick will be taking the reins as co-host for the Dreadcast from now on.
Until he fires me.
Until he fires you, until his computer explodes, until there's a sinkhole under the house.
Until he can think of something else to say.
Episode 101! So yeah, we are, for the first episode this year, we're going to be going through our top films of 2024. Never been done on social media. No one does this on TikTok.
Specifically, it's our top horror films of 2024, because I could throw in a couple that aren't horror.
We're on a horror podcast. Why would you do such a thing?
Because Wicked was really good. It's about the evil witch. You know, she's the baddie.
If you want to talk about horror related to Wicked, we can talk about those press conferences they did, press releases.
They were superb.
They cried every time.
It's an emotional film.
That'd be green.
Mark
Ruffalo didn't cry when he was the Hulk.
Yeah, I think Edward Norton did when he realised he turned down the chance to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Eric Bana, maybe.
Hey, I don't mind that film with the Hulk.
Really?
Yeah, it was goofy.
It's awful.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I didn't mind it.
I want to see Hulk smash stuff, and instead he's fighting Hulk dogs.
Yeah.
It was an awful. At least the Norton film was quite a good film.
It was good. Yeah.
You know, what's his name as the baddie?
Tim Roth.
There we go.
Love Tim Roth. Yeah, as Abomination, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good. We'll save that for our Marvel podcast. That's just a bit me and Aiden used to do. You know, we diverted from horror and started talking about that's for our other podcast. Okay. That's for our the 80s sitcom podcast. But so we'll be kicking off the year. This will probably be a two-parter talking about our top films 2024. We'll be back with more Simpsons Treehouse because this fella is a little bit of a Simpsons fan.
I have a Simpsons tattoo.
Yeah, all right. Giving it the big one. We're back with that. Back with more Two Films Under, where we'll be putting two. Yeah, I think you'll like that series. Two B movies up against each other.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, where we pick from the mystery. You see the coffin up there?
Oh yeah.
In fact, do you know what? In fact, we'll do that right. We'll do that right now.
We're going to pick the first two things.
We'll pick the first two things. So this is the coffin.
Yep.
The mystery coffin. What we do. I haven't got dice. Aiden used to do the dice. Oh, Aiden used to do it. In fact, you've probably got it on your phone, right? The spinning.
I have a dice app.
Oh, get the dice app up. We basically want. We're picking a decade from the 70s, 80s, 90s, to noughties to 10's.
Okay, so I got a 6 dice.
Spin it!
But that won't work.
Well, if we get 6, it doesn't. If we get 6, we'll go with the 20s. So we've got 4 years in. We can find the B movie.
So 1 is the 70s, 2 is...
Yeah.
Okay.
So just to remind you folks. Okay, so we picked 2. So 2 is the 80s. So we used to roll a dice for this series called Two Films Under. Whatever decade we get, we have to pick a film from that decade. B movie. We're talking bottom of the barrel.
Oh, yeah.
But it also has to fit the criteria that comes out of this coffin here. It's a lovely coffin.
One of my top 10 films is an absolute shit B movie.
Or could be one of these that we pick. We both have to find the film.
Okay.
From this category in here. And you're going to pick.
Just the one?
One.
Okay. Evil in title.
Okay.
The original Evil Dead was a B movie. Probably
Evil
can't
Dead
do
is
it though.
far too good for this though. So we're going to go away right now. Not right now because we're doing the job right now. And it'll probably be a few weeks' time. We'll both come back with a film each with Evil in the title from the 80s that is absolute dirge, bottom of the barrel.
Can I cheat and use the word devil? Because there's got evil.
No, but I will for next time add devil in the title.
Okay.
So we'll be back to that. I will keep you posted, everyone, online on social medias, which you can find the Dreadcast on TikTok, Twitter, I'm not calling it X, Instagram, And obviously YouTube as well, where you can find all this content on past episodes. And stay tuned, and we'll let you know what films will be coming out for that. So, you got anything to say? Do you want to bring anything to the table? You're new to the show.
Yeah, me and Tom both love our horror films, but we tend to differ in opinion quite a bit. So, certain films
No. We don't differ. I'm right, you're wrong.
Okay.
That's... Sorry, Frank.
Well, he's right, but I'm righter. So,
okay.
So, for example, I know you absolutely loved When Evil Lurks.
I'm partial to it.
Are you?
It was only my number one film of last year. No, the year before!
I didn't care for it that much. I felt the build-up was fine. For Act 1 and Act 2 were good, and I really didn't like Act 3. I think it went off the rails, and I just didn't think it was that good a film. I didn't think the writing was that strong towards the end of the film.
Mm.
It is a problem with a lot of horror films. Mm-hmm. Act 3 ends up being an issue because you have to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. But I just didn't think When Evil Lurks was that good. Possibly it's because it was very heavily built up for me, though. You will love this, it's an amazing film.
Yeah,
and then when I watched it, it couldn't reach the peaks. Maybe if I discovered it myself, like on Shudder or something, and I then just watched it, I might have really enjoyed it a lot more.
That is a big problem I have with people bigging stuff up to me.
Yeah.
And
I think I've done it to you in the past, actually, telling you about, like, there's an amazing thing that happens, and then you watch it, you're like, it wasn't as amazing as you said it was going to be.
Yeah, because you're expecting more.
Yeah.
Way more because of the hype that you've been thrust upon you.
If you get a film really built up, it can be difficult to meet the expectations. Although sometimes they do. Like Wicked met my expectations.
Well, that's why the worst marketing and advertising a horror film can ever have is it saying the scariest film ever made or the greatest horror film ever made.
No, the worst is when they give away a key plot point spoiler in the motherfucking trailer.
Such as?
Okay,
cool.
It's an honourable mention for a film I really liked but hated the trailer ruining it.
Okay. Alright, well, let's get straight into it.
Cool.
So I have a list of 14, but I'm happy to just whittle 14 to 11 down quickly, and then we'll go into 10. How many have you got?
Right, so last year I think I watched 17 horror films that were released last year.
Yeah.
2 of them don't get honourable mentions, Arcadian and The Last Breath.
Okay.
Last Breath was a shark film, trapped in like a sunken wreck, trying to get out with the sharks around.
Okay, yeah.
It was okay. Arcadian was Nicolas Cage being a bit odd in a post-apocalyptic world, but I've got a better, odder Nicolas Cage film. So Arcadian was okay.
Yeah.
But it looked a bit rough around the edges.
Mm.
It was fine, perfectly serviceable film, but doesn't make the top 10, or doesn't get an honourable mention.
Even
really.
an honourable mention. Okay. Yeah. So what we'll do when we get to the list as well, we'll do like your number 10.
Yep.
And if it's the same, and then so on. We'll go by your list.
Okay.
Yeah. So what have you got from 17, was it? Or your honourable mentions first for last year?
I've got 4 honourable mentions and 1 dishonourable mention.
Go with the I want the dessert first.
Tarot.
Oh, a friend of mine told me about tarot.
I hated it.
Is it about tarot cards?
Okay. The idea of the film is there's a friend group and one of them does like divination, reading their futures using tarot cards. But they rent an Airbnb and they find some tarot cards. And you're not supposed to use other people's tarot cards. So she uses these other tarot cards to divine their fate and their evil cursed tarot cards. All right, the premise is fine.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely fine with that setup. The problem is badly acted.
Yeah.
It's an awful script. Who's in it? No one I can remember is in the film. It's also just memorable. It's all over the place.
Right.
Pacing is way off. There's some stuff that just doesn't make sense. And they do the whole, this character died off screen, so you definitely know they're dead. And of course they're not dead. There was one scene that was pretty cool, which was a character kind of trapped in, I think it was like they were in a coffin, and they were looking out and seeing stuff that clearly wasn't there, but it was there for them. But overall, it was an absolute hot mess of a film.
Did the happy squirrel turn up?
Yeah, it signifies death. It's the worst card ever. But yeah, I hated Tarot so much, and it was heavily advertised. It was all over TV advertising it.
Was it Blumhouse? If it's Blumhouse, they go to town on the marketing. It's not Blumhouse, it's Sony.
Okay, so yeah, Sony.
Yeah.
I think most of the budget for the film was probably in marketing because it wasn't in development or anything else that could have been useful. I hated that film because I had high hopes for it. It looked like it was going to be interesting, and it was so bad.
17% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 4.8 out of 10.
That seems high.
2.5 out 2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. That's pretty rough.
It was bad.
Okay, so that's your dishonorable mention.
So honourable mentions.
Okay, go on then.
Trap.
Oh, the Josh Hartnett one.
Yeah.
With M. Night Shyamalan.
So M. Night Shyamalan.
Is this the thing with the trailer you were telling me about? That bothered you? That it was in the trailer?
No.
Because that bothered me with this film.
Oh no. I was fine with the idea that they set up that it's a serial killer going to a concert with his daughter, and the police know there's a serial killer there. So the first idea is, okay, how has this come about? It's explained during the film. It's fine. My problem with the film is the shocking nepotism on display, because the concert they go to is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter is playing the pop star. I think Princess Raven was her name in the film. And she's not a good actor.
She is not a good actor.
She's a very good singer. Her singing is incredible. Really, really good. She's believable as a pop star because she wants to be a pop star. She is. Shyamalan plays her uncle in the film.
Of course he's in it.
Of course he's in it.
Of course.
He has a cameo. And conveniently, they're related. But Act 3, she changes from being the pop star they're there to see to being the protagonist.
Right, okay.
The concert's over and she's going to their home, leading the investigation about and it goes off the rails. And then you get stuff that makes no sense. Like there's a SWAT team around the house. They know he's in there. He escapes through a tunnel he dug, and also takes out a member of the SWAT team without anyone else noticing, and then puts on the SWAT uniform, and then gets in the car with Princess Raven. It's like no one's noticed this going on. Takes her off in the limo, and then they park up. He's handcuffed her to part of the inside of the limo. She manages to open the window. Her fans see her. They all flock around the car. He manages to get out of this surrounded car, get rid of all the SWAT gear, put on normal clothes, leave the SWAT gear in the car, propped up like a person. Yeah, it goes absolute bollocks.
I've never been the biggest fan of Shyamalan, if I'm honest. I tried Old, didn't really like Old.
Old wasn't good, but Sixth Sense is superb.
I didn't mind The Village.
Village is fine.
It's fine. I mean, The Happening is...
Happening's amazing. One of the best films ever made.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
No, what? No.
What else? What else we got? Shyamalan.
Glass. Glass was fun.
Oh, and the whole trilogy.
Yeah.
Right? Glass, Split, and Unbreakables. I think Unbreakable is honestly the better of the three. Signs is...
I like Signs.
Signs is what I put in one of our early episodes when we talked about ways to get into horror. And we're trying to look at different genres, different subgenres, a sort of horror but non-horror for a younger audience.
It's kind of like a mystery sci-fi with some horror elements thrown in there.
I mean, the alien at the kids' party
is a brilliant jump scare.
Yeah. And for a young person getting into horror, that's a nice little film. Early Shyamalan is...
Yeah.
He's lost his way over the years. I just want to say as well, I probably should have said this beforehand, when we're talking about a lot of films from 2024, probably going to be a lot of spoilers if you haven't seen a lot of these films. So thanks for staying by. If not, see you later. Okay.
But in Trap, Hartnett is amazing. He's such a great actor. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
He's really good at this kind of serial killer who's putting on the persona, because the character he's playing is someone who is playing a character. He's playing a psychopathic killer who is putting on a happy family persona. And he manages to hit all the levels. I really liked it. Also, Alison Pill as the wife was very good. I like Alison Pill when she rocks up in stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Trap was an honourable mention.
You make your list.
Another honourable... This is the one that annoyed me with the spoiler.
Yeah.
Abigail.
See, now, I never got around to seeing Abigail, so that's been on my list. Is it... Am I right in saying it's about Dracula's daughter?
So the idea is a bunch of criminals kidnap like a mob boss's daughter to ransom her, but it turns out that she's actually a vampire.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Now, I love the idea of that setup. It sounds like
setup.
good fun. The problem is in the trailer they give away that she's a vampire.
Yes, they do.
So when this twist happens at the start of Act 2, you're like, well, we know this. It's already been. We've seen it. Plus, they got lazy they cast Giancarlo Esposito as a bad guy. He seems to be a bad guy in everything now.
Yeah. Melissa Barrera, isn't it, right, as well?
I think so, yeah. I can't remember. I've seen it once, and I remember I got so annoyed with the number of things you saw in the trailer being really important plot points. But yeah, it was fine. It was a fun film. I would have liked it a lot more had I not seen any of the trailers.
It's comedy, right?
No, it's a horror.
Oh, I always thought it was marketed as a horror comedy.
It's
Straight up horror.
Very little comedy in there. I mean, there are bits of
Interesting.
comedy in the same way you get bits of comedy in a lot of horror films, but it's much more heavily on the horror side of things.
It was Ready or Not. Did you ever see Ready or Not? A couple of years ago with Samara Weaving, about a couple that get married, and the husband has a rich family, have like a big mansion, but they have a ritual where they have to hunt her down.
Yeah.
Before the end of the night or whatever. If they don't kill her, they all just explode.
What?
But yeah, that's a very, very simple description of it. But it's basically a game of hide and seek with the bride trying to hide and sort of get away from them. But it comes across horror, and then we come to a bit of comedy, then horror, and it's like, what are you?
Yeah.
What you're not. I mean, we discussed this for a whole hour and a half. The difference between horror comedy or comedy horror. This was neither. This was straight up horror, and then comedy, not merged together. You gotta know what you are.
Yeah, different director doing the reshoots, so they just did a completely different film.
Yeah, it may as well have been. There we go. Okay, so that's on my list to because I had a list on my phone of about 5 more films I wanted to tick off from last year. I just never got around to.
So another honourable mention you're not going to like.
Oh, okay.
It's the remake of Speak No Evil.
You saw it.
Yeah.
See, I got really bitter. And was like,
I know. We've discussed this. You hated the idea they were remaking it so shortly after the original. I loved the original. We chatted about this. How bleak it is.
Yeah.
Especially the ending was incredible.
The ending's incredible.
Of course, the problem with the Hollywood remake is it gets the Hollywood ending.
It has to.
Yeah.
It has to have a Hollywood ending.
But I've chatted to people who had never seen the original, who've only seen the remake, and they really like it as a film, as a horror film.
Kermode liked the film.
Kermode liked it, but Kermode also really liked the original, so
yeah.
I liked it. I hated the ending with a passion. But James McAvoy was incredible.
And again, another good actor.
Yep.
Just unfortunately not in...
He was good in this. He was good in that.
Yeah.
But no, it was good fun. A lot of similarities, a lot of kind of almost shot-for-shot remake parts from the first film, and then it goes off on its own tangent, does its own thing. Didn't like the ending, but it was still a good film. I mean, if you hadn't seen the original, and you'd only watched that, I reckon you'd have loved it.
Competently made horror film.
Yeah, it's made by someone who clearly liked the original, and decided they had to make their own. But I liked it.
The other thing that really bothered me with that film is the trailer for the remake gives away a lot.
It shows the kid's tongue cut and
gives
stuff.
away a lot in the trailer, but apparently, again, I haven't seen it, but you have, it doesn't give away everything.
No,
There's
because it's a new ending, it doesn't give away all the stuff. So,
I mean, in the original, you can kind of tell, okay, there's something not right with this family. But you're also thinking, the protagonist family, you're like, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing?
Stop being so polite.
Leave.
Just leave.
You only met these people on holiday once.
Yeah.
Just leave. Oh, not well, I've got to go. And that gets annoying with a lot of protagonists in horror films. You're like, what are you doing? And even in the trailer for this film, they show how mental James McAvoy is acting is. And that really bothered me with the trailers. Are just
So the last honourable mention,
okay,
that I reckon you might not have seen or even heard of, but I reckon you'll want to see it.
Is this your B movie?
No.
Okay.
Oh no, the B movie made the top 10.
It made the cut.
I loved it. But anyway, no, this is called Stream.
Oh, I'm aware of this.
So it's got quite a few of the crew members from Terrifier in it. Damien Leone is a producer and also does the special effects. It's got Michael Levy, who was in the first film and was a producer on the second Terrifier. He's the director and one of the writers. And most importantly, it's got David Howard Thornton as a masked serial killer who doesn't talk, doing his over-the-top mime shtick again.
That's incredible.
However, some other people are in the film. Tony Todd. I believe this is his last actual official film. Tim Curry.
Yo!
Dee Wallace.
Yo! Dee Wallace.
Hills Have Eyes and stuff.
Cujo, right?
Yep. Felissa Rose.
Felissa Rose, yeah.
Sleepaway Camp,
yeah.
Danielle Harris.
Oh, I love Danielle Harris.
Yeah. Bill Moseley.
Oh, Chop Top.
Yes.
And Otis.
And Firefly Family. And a few other people as well who rock up who you think, I know them from this film, that film, that film.
Jeffrey Combs?
Yeah.
This is a hell of a lineup. I've just now got it up after you. Tim Reed was in Sister. Okay.
So I just knew that you would want to watch this film once I mentioned it. The execution of the film is fine.
Yeah.
Just doesn't quite make the top 10, but I reckon you'll enjoy it and be happy you've watched it.
I will. And for the next time we do this, as long as this all records fine, touch wood, we will be back. I will check this out because that is a hell of a cast.
I'll be honest, quite a few of the people who I've mentioned, like Tim Curry, they rock up in a single scene at the end where they put a few.
I mean, for Tim Curry's sake, I can believe that. The man's not well.
But Todd is only in a little bit of the film, but he has a really good presence when he's in the film because he's Tony Todd.
Okay.
But yeah, that was really fun.
Interesting.
So,
Okay, cool.
What are your honourable mentions?
14 then, the fact that you haven't mentioned it yet, I'm going to go with Late Night with the Devil. Now, me and Aidan have done a little mini episode on that.
I forgot I watched that film. It hasn't made my list at all.
Well, perfect. I'm bringing it up now.
Yeah.
We have discussed it, and you can find the link if you're watching the YouTube over, I believe it's top right of the video, so over there. So go check that out. But just getting back to it, so you have seen it, obviously.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, we discussed it after I saw it. You explained your issues with me, that film. The why is it still recording? Why are they still zooming in if no one's there?
Exactly.
Your standard problem with a lot of found footage style films.
Well, not just mine, but you agree on those points as well.
Oh, yeah. That's why I love Rec so much, because it makes sense why they're recording.
Yeah. You've got to have that reason why they're still recording. It's the same with Blair Witch. And Heather states in Blair Witch, it's all I have. It's all she has is like, because that's her passion. All she has. That's why they want to keep recording Blair Witch. And a lot of people will go, why don't they just put it down? They're lost in the woods, and the woods are repeating. What would it matter if they put the cameras down? They're still fucked.
Yeah, if they're gonna die, at least someone might find the footage.
Yeah. So the thing with Late Night with the Devil, it's one of those films again that was bigged up and praised. Like, oh my god, this is the film of the year. The film of the year. Okay, all right, we'll give it a go.
I mean, the fact I forgot and didn't even put it on my list. Yeah. I watched it, I enjoyed it, it wasn't that memorable.
Yeah.
It did have some good... I mean, some of the effects were really fun in that film. But the actress doing the possession stuff, she was very good.
She was good for the brief moment she suddenly transforms into the demon.
I believe it was the devil. They named it in the film.
Yes, well, yeah.
I liked the actor playing the host.
Yeah, can you pronounce his last name?
I can't remember what it is, so no.
I can never pronounce his last name. I'm going to try and...
Postlethwaite.
You know, with David Dasmalchian.
We'll call him David. David D.
Big Dave.
Double D's.
Big Dave. He's a great actor.
Yep.
Great actor.
He was in The Suicide Squad.
He was. Yeah. I think he's in a few more big roles. I think this has probably helped because of the praise it got.
Yeah.
I like the setup, the setting, the premise, everything about it. Late night talk show. Especially set in the 70s, everything's brown and orange. It's a really nice aesthetic.
The set design was incredible.
Yeah. The problem is the execution. The the continuous filming towards the end when the big finale's happening with shit hitting the fan, the possession coming alive.
Yep.
That effect I wasn't a big fan of. The ghost. It was his ex-wife who had passed away.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of that.
But it's the way the cameras are moving and zooming in and stuff, and you think...
Well, the crowd are gone, and the production crew are gone. Yeah, it's...
I think I tried to defend it at the time to you, saying, the ghost might be magically affecting the electronics to better capture themselves.
It's a ghost in the production for the Camera 1, camera 2, and go. The other thing with POV films is I also think, who's editing this footage? So Blair Witch, I think, okay, police have maybe spliced this together for evidence for one.
Well,
film.
no. The whole surround, the framing device for Late Night with the Devil was that it was found footage, and we're showing you this stuff that we have discovered, talking about what happened.
But the problem with that is, as the film is a late night TV show, during the commercial breaks, there is footage of them backstage in black and white by like a handy cam. So it means that we have different sources of footage spliced together to make a film.
Yeah, okay.
That's something that really bothered me. What I would have loved is when they cut to their commercial, what I can see here, if you remember, it's like an image of an owl or spooky skeleton saying, "We'll be right back."
Because it's the Halloween special.
No, give us satirical fake commercials like in RoboCop or something. Give me fake commercials from the 70s. And then we go back to the show. Make it like it's a real TV show.
I mean, genuinely, to increase the budget, they could have used real commercials from the 70s for products that still exist.
Yeah.
Like Colgate adverts or Coke adverts.
Anything like that. So that really took it out of me. And it wasn't scary. I mean, scary is very subjective.
Yeah, I know there are some people who would be very scared of that film,
Yes.
but I enjoyed watching it, but it wasn't making me nervous or on edge or anything.
No, not at all. Well, I'm glad we don't, now the fact it's not on your list, we don't have to properly talk about it again.
I forgot it existed. I mean, yeah, it's not great. I've got to stop hitting this fucking wire.
If you could.
Yeah, it would help.
God, fucking rookie over there. 13 for me was Oddity.
I haven't seen.
Oddity is another one of those films where...
Sorry, is this the one where she dies and then her blind occultist sister is finding her killer?
There we go, he's described it. I don't have to describe it.
Oh, that's it. Okay. I've read the thing and I thought this looks weird.
Yes, that's exactly it. And the poster shows said blind occultist with her like mannequin figure with big mouth open, and it's like carved out of wood. It's a very creepy looking figure. This is again one of those films where, because now I'm on TikTok with the show, I now get the algorithm of other horror content creators.
Okay.
And it's, some of them could be really cringy, where this is the most incredible film of the year, you've got to see it. They're clearly doing an ad sponsor or whatever. And when this film came out, it got a lot of promotion like that. And okay, one of these again.
So I'm getting sick of ad sponsors on Instagram.
You're
following something and then suddenly it's like, oh, and here's this other person, and she sneezes and her clothes fall off and they come back on again. Like, what the hell? You know what I'm on about?
Yeah, I know exactly what I'm about.
Just rocks up randomly in the middle of a police chase.
And we just
channel.
go past that. Yeah. I again felt nothing from this film scary wise, and it was promised. It was promised to me that this was scary. It's so scary. The living daylights out of you. It's really up there. But it didn't do anything. There was no intensity for me. There was no eeriness for me.
And the problem is the film was named after a singer of a wrestling faction from the Attitude Era. So what do you expect from the oddities?
Yeah. It should have had ICP in it.
Kurgan could have played the blind girl. Unfortunately, Golga's dead.
Yes. Well, look at him.
Oh, I like the fact he had to play Golga because he had lost too much weight from being Earthquake. When he returned, he'd slimmed down so much.
You don't keep trying to sneak wrestling stuff into this show.
I'm hardly sneaking it.
You are. So yeah, I'm literally, because I'm going to read this off Wikipedia. I apologize.
I'll be honest, it's one of those films that I read the synopsis for on Shudder, and I just didn't think it was for me.
No, I will probably never ever watch this again, and I don't even know if I can recommend it.
You don't really sound like you are.
I can't recommend it in a. Oh, this is going to be amazing. I could recommend it in a. If you want to just sit there back and watch a okay horror film, why? Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad film. It's just certainly not for me.
Problem is, sometimes bad films are more fun to watch. If it's just hitting that middling,
They're bad.
If they're bad, they're fun.
They're bad. Yeah.
If they're good, they're good.
Yeah, but if they're just bad, so you never want to be a 5.
No.
You want to be a 2 or 3 or a 7 or 8, like higher. You never want to be mid.
You're talking about dating or films?
Both ways.
Okay, cool.
2 or 3 you can fix.
Explains why your wife settled for you.
2 or 3 you can fix. You can make better. So yeah, basically follows a blind medium and a curio shopkeeper who is still grieving the death of her twin sister a year prior, when a wooden mannequin from her collection becomes crucial to her quest to uncover the truth about sister's murder. Just wanted to read that proper definition off Wikipedia, similar to what you said.
I mean, what I said was pretty much bang on.
You were pretty bang on.
I got blind occultist murder looking for the killer.
And it's all set in this one converted barn/house, which I guess they're trying to make quite creepy and eerie, but it doesn't come across that way.
Like the whole film is set in this converted barn. Okay, see, that actually makes me think I might want to watch the film. I like the idea of it being a very closed setting.
It is, and that's one of my points about my number 1 pick. Closed settings and only particular sets and whatnot. But anyway, I mean, there's the second main character, the grieving widower, the husband who lost his wife. Is he a widow or widower? Widower.
I think, yeah.
The grieving husband. He's a doctor, so you get his set a lot as well. But there's not much.
Oh, so he's a doctor. He doesn't care for the occult. It's all mumbo jumbo.
But yeah, I Oddity didn't do much for me at all.
All right, what's your next one?
Next one, Immaculate, which I watched last night.
Haven't seen it.
Sydney Sweeney.
Okay.
It is.
Okay, I've not even heard of this film.
Yeah.
So my guess is virgin birth.
Yeah.
Okay, just Immaculate Conception. That's all I thought of there.
That is it.
Okay.
The premise, the idea is there. The execution is not. It's like they didn't know how to execute it.
Okay.
There's no substance. There's very little meat on this film. It's have you seen? Is the First Omen in your list?
Yes.
Right. Watch the First Omen over Immaculate. They're kind of the same film. Different babies.
Okay.
Different.
In Immaculate, is she giving birth to Christ or the Antichrist?
Christ.
Okay. So it is the opposite film. Okay, fair enough.
But it's the same. We're going down the same road in a way.
Okay.
Nun arrives in Italy.
Oh, still nuns. What?
Nun arrives in Italy.
Okay.
The beginning of Immaculate, she arrives in Italy, gets picked up by a priest, driven to the convent. That is exactly the beginning of the First Omen as well. Yeah.
Okay.
And then mysterious things start to occur in the convent. There's honestly not much to say about it. Sydney Sweeney's okay. She's obviously known for more rom-coms and I believe Euphoria, the TV show. A bit risque, that TV show. Not that I've watched it. But she's not bad. She's an okay actress. There's no one else really of note in it.
I hadn't even heard of the film until you mentioned it just now. So
it came out, I believe. It's one of those scenarios, and I think there's a phrase to define it, similar to when Armageddon and Deep Impact came out at the same time. When two films just
parallel.
Align. Yeah.
Clearly, one or two people have had an idea and they've split and they've just each have developed it on their own. Yeah. Yeah, really bizarre. It's like Deep Impact's the better film, but Armageddon was the better blockbuster.
I completely agree. I don't like Armageddon at all. I would easily watch Deep Impact over Armageddon.
I like Armageddon, but I just like the silly training stuff. That makes me laugh. I like Armageddon as a comedy, not as an action film. Whereas Deep Impact is is a really interesting film. Like Tia Leone is properly emotional in that movie.
Why did she go to the fucking beach? She could
survive.
Well,
she'd mix up with her dad again.
Tell her to meet somewhere high up.
Okay, a higher part of the beach. And June.
Oh, that tsunami's really big though. Anyway, yeah. So Immaculate and First Omen, I think they came out not long after each or from each other, but
yeah.
Volcano
and Dante's Peak.
Yes, that's the other one I was trying to think of. And again, I prefer Dante's Peak, but
Volcano was the blockbuster.
Yeah,
but again, Dante's Peak, better film.
Yeah. So Immaculate, yeah, not much to say really. Number 11, the last honorable mention, VHS Beyond.
That's made my top 10. I love the VHS series.
I do.
You can always find at least 1 or 2 segments in every one that is fun.
Yeah, but the rest of them bring it down for me.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
See, I think I can't remember I'll get into it more when I actually hit it.
Can you remember all of them in this one? All of the one in VHS? Because I remember 2.
The wraparound segment is they found 2 VHS tapes at a garage sale or whatever it was. Which
garage?
Yeah.
Garage sale.
Which is supposed to show ghosts. First segment is the police doing like a SWAT raid where a lot of kids have been abducted.
Yes,
and you think it's zombies, but then it's some weird kind of bird monster.
Well, the zombies in the house, like they
don't have any brains. They're actually kind of being controlled. The bird's eating their brains out and is somehow controlling them all.
In the attic.
Yeah.
Yes. Everyone picks up a chainsaw as well at one point.
Yep. My problem with. Let's get on to it because it's in my top 10. So I'll actually go into it then.
Yeah, let's go into it then.
I'm going to do the whole thing now and then go do it again.
No, you're completely right. Let's get on to it then. Okay, so that's honorable mentions. Let's move on to our top 10s. Now, again, I know everyone has done this. Every horror content creator has done this on TikTok or Instagram.
I think very few will have my number 10 in it.
Oh, that's good. So stick by us because we'll be back in a minute. So yeah, apologies. Like the message at the beginning of this episode, the audio is going to be a bit of a mess until we get it properly sorted out with this new setup. As you can see, Nick is actually like here.
Ah, my face.
He's in the same room. Unlike Aiden, who was, don't touch me. That's actually my hand. Free hands. Like Aiden, where we were recording online. So hopefully the audio is better in this part of the episode. So sorry about that. I think it was a bit muffled in the first part, but I digress. So we got some top 10s to get into, and we're going to go by your list.
Okay.
And
so my number 10 is a movie that I watched in October. Now
that's the spooky month.
As Tom knows, in October I like to watch a horror film I've never seen before for every day of the month. So I'll watch 31 horror films. This one was the first film I watched, and I loved it.
This is your B movie, isn't it?
It's a B.
I remember this.
I mean, the word B movie is B is a very, very high letter for this film. It was produced by The Asylum, known for their mockbusters.
I just say, I like now, I can literally sit back with this one because I like when other films that we may have both seen, we can both conversate about it.
Yep.
I can't have any input on this. So
fair enough.
Go for it. What is it?
Number 10, Attack of the Meth Gator.
This is your 10th favourite horror film of the year.
It was so enjoyable.
Okay,
it's
I get
it's
that.
complete silly bollocks.
Whereas I didn't enjoy Oddity or Immaculate. I didn't enjoy
Whereas
it.
I loved this. I can happily say it's a shit film.
Yeah.
It is not a good film. But, okay. So I just went back to what I wrote about it after I watched it.
Oh, your little review on the... Yeah, go for it.
I'll do a little mini review on Facebook. Yeah. So, what more needs to be said? Just look at the title. It's about a meth gator who attacks. How this movie didn't win all the awards is beyond me.
Can I ask, how does the gator become a meth gator?
He eats meth.
Oh, well, that sums it up, folks. There you go.
Okay, well, it's set in Florida.
Obviously.
So that's where the meth is. And, okay, so...
Also, how does he get to the meth?
Okay, so 2 minutes in.
Okay.
And already the basic editing and direction is a shambles.
Yeah.
There are 2 cops and 2 drug dealers. Cop A shoots Dealer A with a taser. Dealer B uses...
do you shoot someone with a taser, or do you zap someone with a taser?
Well, you shoot the prongs into them, then you...
Oh, I figured a taser was the hand where you...
Well, you do have handheld ones, and you have the ones you shoot as well.
Okay, that's what you call a taser.
So Cop A shoots
Yep.
Dealer A with a taser.
Yep.
Dealer B uses the distraction to knock aside Cop B's taser and grapple him. Meanwhile, Dealer A is getting up, and for some reason, Cop A is down on the ground. Nobody hit him. Nobody tased him. Nobody shot him. He just fired his taser and then apparently lay down. The dealers run off, and some CGI in the shape of an alligator eats a CGI bag of CGI meth in the CGI water.
The CGI water.
Everything was CGI. But that's how the dealers run off, they drop a bag of meth, the gator eats the meth, gets a taste of meth, starts attacking people and trying to get more meth.
Let's say as well, these are the sort of films we will be watching for 2 films under.
Oh, yeah.
This is the sort of film, so yeah, these are the ones we need to put up against each other.
I mean, there's a line that you think you've got to kill a gator on meth. There you go. Perfectly serious line. It's a 30-foot gator, but in a small hotel room, it's able to break in, turn around completely, and leave.
So it's smaller in certain positions.
It just shrinks.
Yeah.
Depends what angle you're looking at it from. At one point, there's a shoulder-mounted RPG that's clearly just a cardboard tube painted black.
See, when I edit this show, and I edit the YouTube for you fine folks out there in internet land, I try to sometimes include clips from films we're talking about, and this one is going to have a lot of different films. This episode it's going to take a lot of editing. I'm going to have to try and find some of these. I'm going to obviously download film through various means.
I think it's on Shudder.
Yeah, but I need it though.
Okay. So
I'm going to try and find this RPG.
One other thing that I actually genuinely appreciated about this film was, despite the fact it was no-name actors that I'd never heard of, they were all very good.
Okay.
There was no bad acting in the film. All the actors were fine. The settings, the stage and everything was really good. It looked like they just went to places that existed, went to actual locations and filmed there, rather than building stuff on a sound set. Because that's going to
yeah.
It was fine. It was a really, really enjoyable film. It was completely stupid. It was clearly they were trying to do their own Cocaine Bear.
See the thing. Yeah, Cocaine Bear just spawned so much. There was like Cocaine Shark or Wolf. There were so many that came out. I mean, Asylum will latch on to anything. Yeah. Asylum's classic.
So it was called Attack of the Meth Gator here, but I think it was just called Meth Gator in the States.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
But no, that was my number 10 because thinking back now, I'm just smiling. It was so fun.
You are smiling,
It's stupid. It's not a good film, but it was so enjoyable.
It sounds peak mid 2000s, 10 p.m. on Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, it's definitely like a made-for-TV sci-fi style movie. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like Sharknado, but it's not quite that budget.
We got Sharknado at uni, and then, I mean, I think at uni I didn't have much tolerance for bullshit. I was a bit more like, oh, this is rubbish. I can't enjoy this. Now I'd be like, yeah, this is dumb. This is fun.
Sharknado 2's got Kurt Angle in it. What more can you want?
Does he angle slam a shark?
No, he's the fire chief. And he's in like 2 scenes because he can't act for shit.
Does he have milk in his hose? We're getting into wrestling again. Can't keep doing this.
So that's my number 10.
Actually, number 10. Okay, no, fair. That's cool. That's cool. Like, again, this is why I'm really happy that, well, A, the show continues. Also, you're on board because that's something so out of the blue that we get to talk about that was fun.
You're saying that Aiden or T wouldn't have gone for Attack of the Meth Gator?
I don't think they would. And that's not on them because they would have brought other films to the table. But that's why it's always good to have someone with different opinions. Number 10 is, I feel like you may have this on your list. I don't know, is In a Violent Nature for me.
I've got it, yeah.
Now, I will say as well, 10 to 1 for me, it's not necessarily 10 is the worst film I've ever seen and 1 is the best.
Yeah.
10 this is still good. I enjoyed In a Violent Nature, but it was how I had to
you had to
label them.
You had to pick list somewhere, yeah.
In a Violent Nature is a good film.
I think it had a lot more potential.
It did.
My favourite part of that film, when I was making my list and I wrote it down, my first thought was the sound. Sound when he what's the killer's name?
Oh, something really straightforward,
Chris or something, James,
Johnny or something like that. Yeah.
But when he's stalking through the woods and you've got like the third-person camera style just following behind him like an old video game,
like the crunching of the leaves.
That's it. The Foley artist on that film did a superb job. Crunching of the leaves, walking on the gravel, all that stuff. The sound really pops. Johnny. Because of course the killer isn't talking.
Yeah.
And there are long protracted scenes of him stalking through the woods. The only thing to really keep your attention, apart from watching him walk, is that sound. And it's really good sound.
Once again, we did talk about it in the Dreadcast Extra. You can find that way in the top right hand corner of the video. They talked about it. Honestly, for the life of me, I can't remember what I said about it. I may have said I loved it, but I think because we did it an extra similar to Late Night with the Devil, I may have said I didn't. But upon reflection, thinking about it again, it's not all bad. The concept is superb, and I think the concept of them picking the perspective of the killer, but picking Jason and Crystal Lake inspiration was the right way to go, rather than you could have done a suburban killer like Michael. I don't think you could have done something like a Freddy or a Jason.
I think the problem with trying a Michael style thing in suburban setup is following the killer stalking around is really interesting. Michael appears out of nowhere at times.
You don't want to know where he's going.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't want to see
you don't
Michael
wanna
slowly
know.
stalking off, looking through the window, and then jumping.
I can imagine Jason dicking about in the woods.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like similar to what they did in the remake, which is here and there, the 2009 Friday the 13th remake, where he's got his tunnels under the ground. And he's,
God, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, even in part 2 or part 3, where he's literally living in the woods, and similar with this, with Johnny, he's not really living, but
he's dead, and then they wake him up by taking the locket or something.
Yeah, it's a very straightforward premise. It's this.
I love the ending.
The ambiguous ending,
no,
you're constantly
waiting for the jump scare, and they don't give you one, and it's about 10 minutes.
Long.
She gets picked up by the woman who's talking about her brother survived a bear attack in these woods, and then she realizes, oh, your leg is still bleeding, let's put a tourniquet on it.
Oh, her story is a whole metaphor for the film.
Yeah, but then she keeps looking out, like, oh, he's going to be there, and gets out, puts the tourniquet on, we have to move, and then there it ends.
The problem with that, though, is that not so much the problem with the viewer watching it, is you're instantly thinking, they've been driving for miles. If he shows up now, I'm going to lose it. This will be awful.
Yeah.
And it's good that he didn't show up. It's good that
They keep building it up, and then they don't pay it off, which I love. It's like the complete reverse of like a Chekhov's gun situation. They don't have the payoff, and when it ended, I was like, oh, it's ended. I loved that. There was no post-credit scene of him appearing or anything. It ended. Unfortunately,
I believe there is a sequel coming.
That's fine, because he didn't die in the first.
He didn't, but then what can you add to this for the sequel?
I don't know, just another different bunch of kids in the woods, I guess.
I mean, it worked for Friday the 13th. I mean, that was the same film over and over again. But I feel that fit with the era it came out, the slasher era.
Now, just trying to remember, In a Violent Nature, is that the one where one of the kills is the kind of slow axe machine?
Yes, and I'm about to get onto that.
Oh,
so the kills were hit and miss for me. Some of the kills were incredible. Some of them, which get bigged up online, like especially the yoga kill, I hated that kill.
Puts her head through her own chest
because it had steps to it.
Yeah,
and this our killer Johnny doesn't come across as someone who's all there, or even human, or even competent in planning things.
Yeah.
So what does he do? He
goes stabs a hole through her, and his whole hand comes through her.
She turns round.
I don't think she turns round. I think he grabs her head, pulls her back, so she's upside down, and puts her head through her
the
chest.
It's too much. I don't mean in the gory. I don't give a shit about the gore. It's too many steps.
Although the practical effects were very good.
The practical effects were superb in this film, and yeah, I mean that's always a winner. Practical over CG. The kill I did love again was the Ranger at the end, because it's the fixed camera. Where when you've got a fixed camera, I always find it's like you're trapped and you can't do anything to help the victim. You can't move.
And also, you're looking with the fixed camera and the constant shot. You're looking for when have they changed over his leg for the prop?
Yeah. It's so slow, that kill,
because the machine just moves and then gets back up, moves again. It's just slowly getting chopped up.
One of my favourite scenes in the film is the campfire, which again we're meant to be in the perspective of the killer, but
not always.
We go to the campfire and the camera is constantly circling around, and then suddenly you see him in the background, just carefully there. That shot.
But they don't focus on him.
No,
you just you catch him as it goes past.
And it's simply just a It's a Jason film. It's a Friday the 13th film, basically.
Yep.
That's all it is.
But I did enjoy it.
Yeah. It's my number 10, but it's not a bad film, even though I may have said that a few months ago in this episode here.
I think it's my 6. Let's have a look.
Well, that ticks off your 6 then.
I'll still mention it at the time.
So we'll just repeat everything we've just said.
Yeah, in Violent Nature, I got a 6.
Okay. I don't think I've got anything else. No. Okay, so your number 9, sir.
My number 9 is VHS Beyond.
Let's talk about VHS Beyond. So we talked about the first. You know what? In fact, this is the 6th VHS, I think.
7th.
The first one, I will never forget the first film. The Succubus.
Yep.
That is still one of the best, in my opinion.
Whereas for me, one of my absolute favourites was still from the first one. It's when you realise that the killer is doing the filming.
The wraparound?
No, not the wraparound. The couple are on holiday and they're filming each other and they're doing different sites and stuff. Right. And then they're in bed at night and the husband also will often film the wife at night or whatever. Yeah. And then you realise the killer is actually doing the filming.
Yeah.
Because that was like, just sat there. But, whoa!
Kills the husband to go away with a girlfriend. Yeah.
I mean, I think my favourite of any segment of any of the VHS films, possibly the Indonesian one.
In the school.
In the weird kind of school, and the giant weird devil-y thing comes out. Because
that's incredible.
Very good.
I believe that's directed by the same guy who directed The Raid.
Oh, okay.
Not Gareth Edwards. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But yeah, I believe it is. I might be wrong. I believe it is.
But in all the VHSs, there are at least 1 or 2 segments in every film that I want to watch this again.
Definitely. So this one, we talked about the first one with the police squad, the police force.
Oh, for Beyond, yeah. So.
Yeah, Beyond. This was more of a sci-fi based VHS.
Yes, it was.
Way more sci-fi based.
Yep.
We then had, what else did we have? With the Alien?
Now, my issue with the first segment, overuse of CGI. There was way too much CGI blood when they were shooting. I would much rather have a few squibs than have very clear CGI blood. And
completely, yeah. Completely agree.
Yeah. Second segment was the Bollywood segment, which I loved it.
I didn't enjoy that.
It went in a completely new direction for the VHS franchise. It was a Bollywood style film. I loved the fact that they had a big Bollywood dance number as part of it, but it made sense. Because it was on a film, they were filming on a film set.
Yeah, I get that.
So, having a Bollywood song and dance number in a horror film that makes sense, loved it. I was fine with that.
Okay. With the alien invasion?
Third segment was the skydive being attacked by the alien.
I like that one.
I loved the alien design.
Yeah.
The way they set that alien up was really cool.
Quite intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit CGI heavy at times. However, once they've hit the ground and they're in I think it was an orange grove they were in.
Yes, yeah. It's like a maze.
The idea that it's just rows and rows, so you run, but they can come from any angle, and then the whole car getting picked up at the end thing was a bit, alright. You have to end it some way.
There was a better alien invasion in an earlier one with not school kids, the kids in a house, and they noticed, and they were more classic.
That was a lot better. Have you seen the full movie?
The full movie.
So they took that segment, Kids vs. Aliens, and made a full-length film.
I had no idea.
Oh, same director, same writer, different actors, I think, for the kids. It was released on Shudder a couple years ago. It's fucking awful.
Oh,
absolutely dire.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I hated it.
I really enjoyed that. Okay.
Yeah, because I enjoyed the segment as a 10-20 minute segment. As a feature-length film, doesn't work.
Shame.
I mean, I know you might enjoy it if you watch it. I
will look
found
into
it.
that.
Yeah. I think it's just called Kids vs. Aliens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fourth segment was for me the worst segment. It was the body horror, the doggy daycare.
Oh, yeah,
written by Justin Long.
Yeah. Again, I don't think I enjoyed it. That's why it's not so memorable to me. Yeah.
I remember not liking it. That was the problem because it looked really cheap. I appreciate not using CGI to make the dog creatures, but it's like if you got you and then I just stuck a dog's jaw on your face, and that was the extent we went to. It looked shit.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
it can't always be the Howling or American Werewolf in London effects.
Fifth segment's the best one in my
The
opinion.
final one?
Yeah.
My favourite one, because I also am a big fan of the woman in it. Alana Pierce. She's a games writer, journalist, and all-round on YouTube.
Well, it was the grittiest one visually. That the
Visually
camera didn't look great. It was because it looked like she was actually recording it herself on her own, which is perfect. The style works. But for me, what I loved about it was like the implications at the ending and the way it works. Like she keeps getting injured as the ship is moving, and then it fixes her DNA. But there's other stuff in there, so she gets a bit less human each time.
And the ship looks unnatural.
Yeah,
It's-
really interesting design.
Yeah.
And even though you know it's CGI, I didn't care because it looked so impressive and weird. And then like she gets cut by a really sharp thing, and then immediately those little nanobot things fly out and heal her, and just.
And it's directed by Katie Siegel,
Oh, okay.
Mike Flanagan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't realise.
Yeah. Definitely, you're right. It's the strongest one.
Yeah. And the wraparound was okay. The wraparound was an interesting setup with a poor payoff. The idea that the wraparound was they had these two VHS tapes they'd found at a car boot sale or whatever.
I remember this wraparound. Yeah.
And it was about this house, and the people in the house had died, and so it had been bought by somebody else, and this guy was recording himself as when he was sleeping, and an alien had died. It was shit.
Okay.
Yeah, the wraparound wasn't good. But as a film, in total, I enjoyed it. There are a few memorable segments which I like, and the final segment was really good. So yeah, that's why it cracked my top 10 at number 9.
Yeah, fair enough. Just one more thing on VHS. I don't think it was last year I had VHS 85 as my number 12, but I think it was that VHS that had one of my favourite two segments that went together. Was the
sniper at the lake, and then the weird family,
the cult.
Yep.
Because the end of the first segment ends, and you're kind of like, is that it?
It doesn't set. You don't think they're setting up another segment. It's the fun thing.
People are just killed in the lake,
Yeah.
and then they get resurrected, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And we need to that other segment. Hang on, I recognise that symbol. Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, it's linked. That's great. So when they work like that in tandem, they're really
I also
well
really
done.
liked in '87 the first 90% of the Mexican earthquake segment.
Yes, I agree. That was
Because
fantastic.
I feel the claustrophobic idea of being trapped in a building that's slowly collapsing around you is
Terrifying.
great for horror.
Yeah,
I hated the bollocks at the end with the kind of resurrecting the ancient god thing.
same.
That ruined the segment for me. But I thought everything up to that point was great.
Yeah. So that was your number 9?
Yep.
Okay. My number 9 was Alien Romulus.
That's higher up for me.
Okay. It was actually higher up about a month ago, and then when I started to catch up on 2024 films,
Yep.
it's unfortunately been bumped down. So Alien Romulus brought the series back to life.
It's the best Alien film since Aliens.
Yes. I'm a sucker for Resurrection and 3, but it's not as good as them. Okay, it's not as good. I know it's not good.
Alien 3's fine. I like the idea, but I would have much preferred to see the whole wooden asteroid with monks living on it.
Yes. Yeah.
Although I do like the Charles Dance, Pete Postlethwaite getting random British actors in that film. It's quite fun.
Charles Dance is meant to be a sexy man in that film.
Oh, he's handsome as devil.
It's meant to be just sex god.
I mean, Resurrection is awful. I mean,
How dare you?
it's a terrible film.
How dare you, sir? Alien vs Predator is trash, and Alien vs Predator 2 you can't even watch. It's not physically possible to view it.
Alien vs Predator has got some fun rewatch value because it's proper bollocks.
It's proper bollocks.
Alien vs Predator 2 got me banned from choosing films for a while.
Yes, I remember this story. Yeah,
Um,
you and a few
I was in
friends,
hospital. I was unwell. I was on a morphine drip.
Yeah.
I watched Alien vs Predator 2, and it was the best film I'd ever seen.
Right? That'll help you in hospital.
Yeah, well, that's when I learned about drugs' effects on the mind, because I watched it afterwards with some friends, and they stopped it halfway through. It's awful.
Yeah, it is.
I've watched it since on my own without being on any
How
form of
can you
drugs.
see it? It's so dark.
I was in a very dark room at the time. It's so bad.
It's awful. It's awful.
The ending is awful. The writing is awful. One scene would have been good in a better film, and that is the alien in the maternity ward.
I vaguely remember that. Vaguely. I mean,
Yeah.
I've only seen it once.
It's
So I
not
won't
good.
watch it again. So that killed the franchise. Much did killing the Predator franchise, and along with the Predator. Not Predator was okay, but the Predator killed Predator franchise, and then Prey helped bring it back.
Predators is Brody and Fishburne?
Yeah, and
Yeah, okay.
Robert Rodriguez directed, which is good fun. And so Prey helped bring the Predator franchise back, and I feel like Romulus has finally brought this back.
Yeah.
Great film, very competently made film.
I love the opening.
Opening 30
Just
minutes.
the opening like 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute silence. It's in space. There is no noise, and you just see stuff going along, and the camera's moving. But in the theatre, watching that, pin drop.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They focused on that in the trailer as well.
Yeah.
With the whole no one in space. You can't hear.
In space, no one can hear you
That's
scream.
it. That's it. Well, the words were there. Just couldn't get them in the right order.
Space, no noise.
No noise. Space. Scream. Production design is incredible.
Oh, it is superb.
The art design, yeah, it's incredible. Sound design, like you said, in the cinema, beautiful.
I love the character of Andy as well. The
And he's
alien.
good. And he's good until he makes a speech at the end, which killed it for me. I hated them bringing back Ian Holm.
Oh, disgusted with that.
Because remember? You remember him? Do you remember him? I remember him. Do you remember him?
They paid an actor to do the lines. They then used deep fake and voice editing software to make it perfect to Ian Holmes. At least they built a CGI Ian. They built a practical. At least they built an actual kind of Ian Holm animatronic.
Yeah.
But then they used fecking CGI to dust it up a bit.
It's the AI upscaling, like they did with
The Thing.
no, I mean even the latest Star Wars. You don't.
I meant the things, the 2011 thing.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah,
the
but they had the
prequel,
practical effects,
and then they covered it over with CGI. So that's what
yes,
I meant. Yeah.
yes. But we gotta get past the whole. Remember him.
Member?
Berries. Basically, member berries. We don't need it. It was all good. We were all fine up until then.
But if they're going to do that, you can just replace all new actors with old actors. Fuck it. All right, I'll be in the film, but then just use deepfake and everything to replace me with Elvis Presley. We've got a new Elvis movie.
I love how an alien film should be. Now, granted, aliens
Claustrophobic. They're stuck on a ship. There's an alien there, and they can't kill it because it's going to bleed through the hull, and it'll decompress and die.
What's the best alien game called? Alien Isolation. This should be
so
about
fun.
isolation and fear. That is what they. Now, granted, aliens.
I also
aliens,
I liked the setup for this for Romulus.
The setup's great.
They're trying to get off the thing.
Very simple.
Weyland-Yutani there. You can't leave. We're going to increase your quota.
Very simple. Very straightforward. Very straight, and that's what it needs to be. And like I said, aliens have multiple aliens, multiple big army men, but it was still isolated. It was still eliciting fear.
More action than horror.
More action, but
thoroughly enjoyable film.
This film should have ended. I mean, we did a whole episode again of this up there. Go check it out. This film should have ended 20 minutes early. I hated because this is Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection all in one. And Alien Resurrection is the last 20 minutes, and I hated it. I hated the fact that we got the new hybrid alien.
Yeah.
It didn't need to end like that. I also
At least I appreciated the fact that the new hybrid alien was played by a person in a bodysuit.
I was shocked when
And
I saw that.
the only thing that wasn't was the tail was CGI.
Well, I'm shocked because it looks CGI. The whole thing looks CGI. But it was incredible.
It's a former basketball player. To big and tall, long limbs.
The nostalgic callbacks.
And the regular alien in that film was also a person in a suit.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And as I think I sent you a little video of or you might send to me, the face huggers just being like remote control cars just driving around. Yes,
a friend of mine made them.
Amazing.
He works at Weta Workshop. Joe, I don't listen to this podcast. I haven't spoken to you since university, I don't think. But I hope you're doing well at Weta Workshop in New Zealand. Kudos on your face hugger. Forgot they were called for a second. It was awesome. So well done. Shout out to Joe. The subtle callback references, some were okay. Like working the gun, similar to Aliens, the machine gun, the assault rifle. But then when we come to get away from her, you bitch.
Yeah.
I let out the biggest sigh when that came. That really brought it down for me because it's so unnecessary. It's just, again, remember? Oh, I remember that. I know that line. I know it. I clapped when I saw it.
This was a film where a less is more approach would have improved it.
But it had a lot of less is more. A lot, and it really worked.
But then you get really heavy-handed with some of the things like basically redoing pissing famous lines.
Exactly. So again, not a bad film. It is a great film. It is a great film. But for someone who was, for me, trying to critique it quite bit by bit, these things stood out. But if you're not going to critique it, you just want to sit down and watch a great alien film, I would highly recommend this.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a fan. They had to incorporate the black goo from the Prometheus timeline.
Yeah.
A lot of people like that timeline. I'm not a big fan of it, but yeah. So that's my number 9.